Namaskar, and thank you for joining. So, we'll carry forward the same theme that we did last time, how to lower cholesterol and triglycerides with lifestyle. So, in the last segment, we gave the whole segment to diet because diet's very important. So, you can look it over again and again and bring about any changes that you need to bring in your diet. What we are going to discuss this time is the remaining practices from the dash that help reduce cholesterol and triglyceride. Now, I also emphasize that there are a lot of cholesterol naysayers, the denialists, but you cannot take away the fact that people that have had a heart attack or a stent or bypass, if they lower their cholesterol, their chances of another stent, another bypass, another heart attack goes down. So let's go further today and look at other practices that can help lower the cholesterol with lifestyle. So we finished D for diet. So today we are going to focus on activity, stress, sleep, spiritual practices, harmonious living, avoiding the four harmful exposures, for example, the tobacco, the alcohol, pollution, and adulteration or contamination. So first of all, activity. You really need to know what is activity and what is inactivity. Are you leading an active life or a sedentary life? So what is a sedentary life? In other sense, a lifestyle that promotes triglycerides and cholesterol to go up. It is a lifestyle which you spend mostly either sitting or lying down. You're working on a desk, you go in a car, you go in a transport, you come home, you sit in front of a sofa, you watch TV or your phone, and then you eat your dinner, and then you go to your bed. So there's very little activity. So you're walking less than 5,000 steps a day, and you're not increasing your heart rate at all during the day. So what that does is it makes your muscles become weak, your circulation become poor, your weight go up, your triglycerides go up, your cholesterol goes up, and it predisposes you to heart attack. So if you're the kind of person that gets up in the morning, gets in the car, goes, works on a desk, uses elevators to go up, little movement, no activity, comes home, sits in the sofa, eats and sleeps, then that is the danger. So what is actually an active lifestyle? So the active lifestyle is when you're moving regularly throughout the day. You walk at least 7,500 to 10,000 steps. You do at least 30 minutes of brisk walking. Brisk walking means walking in such a way that you break out in a sweat. You cannot sing, but you can barely hold some conversation. And you feel that your breath is a little harder. That's brisk walking, or cycling, or yoga, or dancing. And also during the day, you stay active. For example, you take stairs instead of elevator to go up. You're walking during your meetings. For example, you have to hold a meeting with somebody, right? You can also do that meeting, online meeting, sitting on a desk, or you can do it in the evening while walking. You could do the meeting and you're also walking. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whole meeting you can do walking. Doing your daily household chores yourself, daily works. So all that results in better fitness, better metabolism, and heart health. So this is a very simple, natural way of lowering the cholesterol and triglycerides. So why do we emphasize on 7,500 steps? Because science supports it. People that walk 7,500 steps a day have 30% less chance of getting a heart attack compared to those that walk less. Less than 7,500, the risk is higher. If you go over 7,500, over 10,000, you also lose weight, but the cardiac benefits you already got up to 7,500 steps. So what's the mechanism? So when you move, you increase muscle activity. All the muscles, when they're active, they need energy. When they need energy, they utilize your triglycerides. So the triglycerides are burnt and your triglycerides come down. So it's a very natural way to lower triglycerides. It also reduces the lipoprotein lipase enzyme activity, which actually slows fat clearance if you're not active, and it raises your triglycerides and lowers HDL. And the opposite happens. If you exercise, your LPL activity goes up. So your triglycerides come down and HDL goes up. Now, we keep talking about one thing, insulin resistance, all the time in reference to diabetes, but it's also relevant in reference to cholesterol. When there is insulin resistance, liver starts making more fat. So you become fat, you get fatty liver, and your triglycerides go up. Remember, triglycerides are fat. If you don't exercise, your HDL function goes down. So the removal of the cholesterol that is built inside the blood vessel becomes inefficient, and the LDL builds up in your arteries and gives you more blockages. And I already told you, no activity, more fat storage. So the bottom line is this: if you walk 30 to 45 minutes daily, preferably brisk, you can just reduce your triglycerides by 10 to 20%. So remember, this is what you reduce with the medicine. Just by being active, you lowered by 10%, and you raise your HDL, the protective, the good cholesterol, by 10%, just by walking. So every step you take switches your body fat clearing system on. Okay. Next, we come to stress. There have been clinical programs where they have proven that by lowering stress, and how do you lower stress? We'll talk about it. You can lower the cholesterol by 15%, lower the cholesterol by about 20%, lower the LDL by 20%, and increase HDL by 10%. Just look at these changes. To do these changes, you may need to take one, two, or three medicines. So see how they're affecting just by reducing the stress. So what are the mechanisms? The four important mechanisms by which stress works is: number one, it increases your cortisol levels. When the cortisol in the blood go up, the liver starts making fat. When adrenaline goes up, that fat is mobilized from the liver, put in the circulation, and the triglycerides go up. And again, I talked about insulin resistance in reference to inactivity. It's also in reference to stress. Stress increases insulin resistance, which means liver produces more fat, throws more fat in the system, high triglycerides, low HDL. And also stress causes the cholesterol, the cortisol causes inflammation. And inflammation is what leads to oxidation of the LDL and formation of the plaque in the arteries. And in addition, when you're stressed out, your habits become poor. Your diet becomes wrong. You start indulging more in alcohol or smoking. And that's an extra calorie and fat load. And that increases your triglycerides and LDL. So you see how important it is to minimize stress to reduce cholesterol and triglyceride. Now, some people stress about triglycerides, stress about cholesterol, and that stress increases the cholesterol. These are the practices, scientifically proven practices that we use in our program. 9 stress management practices: yoga, meditation, pranayama, you're doing with us 6 a.m. every day. Prayer, gratitude, and forgiveness, they're individual practices. You can finish all three really in the morning in 5 to 10 minutes. And there are some outdoor practices: volunteering, connecting, and belonging in the community that you do with other people, which also increase your social harmony and reduce stress and improve your cholesterol. So if these 9 practices you're following, they are definitely going to reduce your stress and improve your cholesterol and triglycerides. So what's the take-home message for stress? Number one, chronic stress means 20% higher LDL and triglyceride. Okay. Stress increases your risk of heart attack by 2 to 3 times, even in non-smokers. And the stress management program show that 8 to 12-week course can lower these parameters by 10 to 20%. And that is why I keep emphasizing on stress management practices in our modules. I want you to practice that. And I also keep emphasizing that you join our daily cardiac yoga meditation pranayama program. Next comes sleep. Sleep is the best nighttime medicine to lower cholesterol. If you sleep less than 6 hours a day, you elevate your triglycerides by 20 25%. Your LDL becomes 10 to 15% higher, and your HDL is 5 to 10% lower. And trials have shown that if you optimize sleep in 8 to 12 weeks, these changes reverse. So, what's the mechanism? If you are sleeping 7 to 8 hours every day, your hormonal balance is restored. Triglycerides come down, LDL comes down, your body clock gets aligned, your cortisol levels go down. And if you do practices like mindfulness and yoga nidra, improving your sleep quality, you raise HDL. And deeper sleep in cool, dark, quiet room actually restores fat metabolism. You burn more fat. So what's the sleep hygiene? Remember, we discussed that in our module in the sleep. These are 10 very good practices for good sleep if you're not sleeping well. And I told you, if you don't sleep well, your cholesterol, triglycerides will go up. Keep a consistent time. Bedtime, when you go to the bed, when you come out of the bed, it should be fixed time. Have a wind down routine. 30 to 60 minutes before you go to bed, get ready to sleep. Limit your screen time. 1 hour before bed, don't use any white light, computer, cell phone, TV, none of that. Don't have any caffeine, nicotine, or alcohol in the evening before bedtime. It's going to disrupt your sleep. Dinner should be light and should be 3 hours before bedtime. If you have a good lunch, you can make the dinner small. And if you make the dinner 3 hours before bedtime, you sleep better. Keep the room cool, dark, and quiet. If you do 5 to 7 minutes of some pranayama practice or yoga nidra, meditation, something before bedtime, it helps you to relax and sleep better. If you see morning sunlight, make sure during the daytime and early morning you go out in the sun. You train your receptors in the eye to shut down and increase melatonin. When you go out in the sun, melatonin is shut down. And the reverse happens when you come in darkness. So the efficiency of your hypothalamus to produce melatonin increases if you spend time in sunlight in the morning. So more sunlight you see at night time when it gets dark, more melatonin you will secrete and better you'll sleep. And must do physical activity during daytime. Tire yourself out. 30 minutes of physical activity per day, as we recommend, is good for sleeping. And don't eat in the bed, don't read in the bed. Bed is only for sleeping. All right, so what's the take-home message for sleep? I told you already, it's the best nighttime medicine to lower cholesterol and triglycerides. So sleep is a medicine. Just like I told you, activity is a medicine that lowers cholesterol and triglyceride. Just like stress, I told you, stress management is a medicine. All medicines lower these by 10 to 20 to 30%. If you're getting the same effect by doing naturally, see how much benefit you're getting? All right, social harmony. I keep emphasizing harmonious relationship with your family, with your spouse, with your children, with your relatives, with your neighbors, with your co-workers, and in the society is helpful. If there's a chronic conflict, even if it's low level, simmering, or there's loneliness, it raises cholesterol, increases triglycerides. It promotes inflammation, increases body fat, deteriorates insulin resistance, predisposes you to diabetes, and makes more cholesterol deposit in the arteries and cause blockages. It's a hidden risk factor. And it ties in the social harmony, your stress, and spirituality. They kind of commingle, they cross each other. If one is out of sync, the other two will be out of sync. So if you have good social relations, your cortisol, adrenaline goes down, liver produces less cholesterol or triglycerides. Insulin resistance improves, blood sugar goes down, liver produces less fat. It encourages you to have healthy habits. People that have good social relations and feel calm, they can follow these things that you're following: good diet, exercise, not smoking, not drinking better. and it decreases inflammation and protects the arteries. So, how do you increase social harmony? One is being emotionally aware, not just your own emotions, but the emotions of people around you. Listen actively, reflect the feelings. If somebody makes you unhappy or does something that you don't like, don't just start blaming him. Tell him, you said this, it makes me feel bad. Can you please not do it again? Simple. Request, I feel, not you are responsible. And also, people around you, if they do something positive and good for you, same people that you have problems with, appreciate that. And the appreciation, daily appreciation, improves harmony. Spirituality, why it matters. First of all, your whole perspective about life changes when you're a spiritual person. You find peace in life, you find purpose in life. Everything that we do in the world to earn a livelihood, all that is fine. Family, relations, job, position, power, wealth, all that is good. But if it is not built on the foundation of spirituality, if the axis is not stable, there's a problem. There'll be stress. And if there is stress, the chemistry will be imbalanced. So it's a very good thing to have some kind of spiritual practice according to your faith that you follow. So people that do not follow any spirituality, have no peace in life, do not have a perspective or purpose about what they're doing other than leading a life, have raised cholesterol due to increased cortisol and adrenaline levels. If you follow spirituality, your parasympathetic activity goes up, you become calmer, and you have better fat metabolism. Inflammation goes down. Positive emotions also boost serotonin and oxytocin levels, and that improves HDL levels. And again, your lifestyle choices improve. So we talked about meditation in our program. You can do meditation, mindfulness. We talk about prayer and reflection, gratitude, compassion and service that comes through doing volunteering, helping others, releases oxytocin, the healing hormone, the happy hormones. Okay. And also, when you do these practices outside, you're walking in nature, all that helps you to lower your cholesterol and triglycerides and blood pressure. So, what is the science behind cigarettes? The next thing. Now we're coming to the harmful effects. Your bad cholesterol goes up. The nicotine will damage your vessel wall, and it makes the LDL, which goes inside the blood vessel, more stickier. Smoking makes your HDL drop, which is protective cholesterol. It increases your triglycerides. It increases oxidative stress, inflammation, all the bad things that cause blockages. All five things that we talked about, they all lead to more plaque buildup, more blockages. But if you quit smoking, it's amazing. Your HDL goes up by 5 to 10 milligrams, and you reduce triglycerides by 10 to 15% within 1 month without medicine. So, see, I'm telling you so many things to lower triglycerides, so many things to increase HDL. Just like 5 to 10% increase in HDL occurs with activity, 5 to 10% increase occurs when you quit smoking. So the timeline is within 24 hours of quitting smoking, your nicotine level in the blood falls, your heart rate normalizes, and your blood pressure normalizes. Within 2 to 3 weeks, the good cholesterol starts going up. Within 1 to 3 months, the triglyceride starts following. And within 1 year of smoking, you're reduced your heart attack risk by about 50%. And 5 years after quitting smoking, you normalize your risk of heart attack to same as a non-smoker. So after 5 years, you eliminate the risk of smoking. Alcohol, they're brothers and sisters. Smoking and drinking, same effects. Alcohol has very significant effect on increasing triglycerides. It makes the liver make more triglycerides. But what is alcohol? Extra calories. Extra calorie alcohol is carbohydrate that you did not consume. You store in the liver as a fat. So triglycerides go up. It increases your LDL level. You may think that people who drink have high HDL level, but their functionality goes down. It's a high HDL, but dysfunctional. So it may be more HDL. You may see your HDL gone up from 35 to 45 when you're drinking, but it is not healthy HDL. It is not functional HDL. Drinking also increases your CRP levels, IL-6, TNF alpha, all these markers of inflammation. And you know that inflammation leads to insulin resistance and again to plaque buildup. It also gives you more free fatty acids in the blood through the liver. It stimulates the liver by catecholamines that release when you take alcohol, and that adds to the triglyceride load in the body. So what happens when you quit? 20 to 50% drop in triglycerides. It's amazing. Now people say, I don't drink too much. It's only once or twice a week. See, drinking once or twice a week in the West and drinking once or twice a week in the East are different things. In the East, majority, or in India, majority of the drinking is binge. When we drink, we really drink. It's not like in the US, you take one or two drinks or one beer or one glass of wine, what they call drinking. And therefore, even if you're drinking once or twice a week, if you quit, you will see your triglycerides will drop. Your HDL functionality improves, more clearance of the LDL from the vessel wall and reduction in the risk of heart attack. In Indians, any amount of alcohol is bad, and I emphasize that in all my videos. It will reduce inflammation, make you more insulin sensitive, improve your diabetes, improve visceral obesity, improve body weight. All that happens in 4 to 6 weeks of quitting alcohol. So 1 to 2 weeks, triglycerides fall, just like smoking, right? 1 week, HDL function improves. 3 month, fatty liver and inflammation can reverse. So if you have fatty liver and you're drinking, you may think you're only drinking once a week. Try to do that and see what an amazing effect it has on your fatty liver or your truncal obesity or your body weight. In 3 months, you can reverse fatty liver. And in 6 to 12 months, your lipid profile improves and your cardiovascular risk drops. Okay, pollution, big thing, right? We just had Diwali, and the press says that the green patakas didn't work. Just as much fog and smog we got as with the other crackers. Big risk. The fine particle is called PM 2.5, particulate matter 2.5. It's a micron size. This is so small that it just goes from your nose straight into your lungs, from lungs into your bloodstream. So if you wear a normal mask, it does not prevent 2.5. It goes through the mask inside. So these particles, then ozone, and then heavy metals that come in the atmosphere with pollution, they all enter bloodstream and they cause oxidative stress, inflammation. They raise LDL, they raise triglycerides. So this is a very, very big risk factors. And the long-term exposure leads to higher heart disease risk. And we are seeing it more and more being shown in studies coming out of India. Pollution is a very big risk factor. And increasing LDL and triglycerides is one of the mechanisms. Now, a lot of this is a legislative issue, right? You don't control how many cars are on the highways. You don't control the quality of the petrol. You also don't control that how many percentage of vehicles on the road should be EVs. We don't control all that. That's legislative. But some things that we can do, we should try. Before we go to that, look at the mechanism. Again, same mechanism that I keep talking about with mental stress is with this pollution stress. Same oxidative stress, inflammation, stressing the liver, increasing insulin resistance, damaging the vessel wall. All this leads to high triglyceride, cholesterol, and blockages. So how do you avoid? If you do avoid, how it helps? Lowers the LDL, triglycerides, improves HDL. If you use air purifier at your home for 4 to 6 weeks, that itself can lower your triglycerides by 10 to 20% and slight improvement in HDL. So what can you do? What are the practical tips? So tips are indoor and outdoor. It's a good practice in India or in Delhi to have a good quality air purifier and lots of indoor plants. Okay, indoor plants can absorb a lot of toxins. And don't smoke inside the house. Don't smoke but definitely don't smoke inside the house. During the pollution time, keep all windows shut, closed, sealed, and have the air purifier going. So clean up the air inside. Buy a good quality air purifier. And if you have only one air purifier in your home, put it in your bedroom because you spend most of the time in your bedroom, 8 hours. Check the AQI, Air Quality Index, and it's published on all news sites every day. If it is above 100, it almost touched 300 in Delhi. Don't go outside without wearing N95 mask. N95 mask can trap the 2.5 particles, also keep the ozone away and heavy metals away. Exercise only in clean air zones in the parks, only when the AQI is less than 100. If it's not, don't go in the park and exercise. Do your yoga, meditation, pranayama at home. And then you have a lifestyle shield, right? The diet that we recommend, fruits, nuts, turmeric, green tea, and all the things that we recommend on integrated heart center diet, they all clear out all these toxins that get into your body. And avoid smoking and avoid secondhand smoke. Some studies have shown that if you live in Delhi, it is equivalent to smoking 46 cigarettes a day. That is how much the pollution is. So if you avoid pollution, you have clean arteries, healthy hearts. Contaminants. There are a lot of contaminants and pollutants in food that cause problem. First thing I already discussed, trans fat. Trans fats are in all bakery items, fried snacks. Anything that is fried and fried and fried, if the oil fries and fries and fries, the trans fats go up. The heavy metals are there in water and fish. Pesticides are in fruits and vegetables. All synthetic dyes cause problem. The red, the yellow. See, the red dye goes in the chilies, the yellow dye goes into the turmeric. All these contaminations cause high inflammation, increase LDL and triglycerides level. And the adulterated oils and milk. I told you, do not take any refined oil. Just do cold pressed oil, get it from your neighborhood. Okay, simple. So if you reduce contaminants that come through all these problems, you reduce oxidative stress, you lower triglycerides, you improve HDL, you reduce inflammation, and you protect your arteries. So practical tips, number one, we already said minimal oil in cooking, preferably most fruits and vegetables uncooked, like in your smoothie or salad or salads or your sauteed vegetables. And if you have to use oil, use cold pressed oil only. Get the milk from trusted organic produce. Wash your fruits and vegetables in running water before you cook them under the tap. Okay. Drink filtered water. Eat antioxidant rich food. Do not eat junk foods. Anything that's reheated outside, anything that you get from outside, which is tasty and snacks, it comes in packets, this all reheated oil. First of all, it's refined oil, which is bad for you. And then it's a reheated oil, which produces trans fats, which is bad for you. No one is going to give you crackers. No one is going to give you samosas. No one is going to give you any of these foods from cold press oil. Number one, cold press oil cannot fry that well. Number two, it's 3 times the price. So clean food, clean blood, less triglycerides, less cholesterol, and healthy heart. So about the tips about the spices, buy branded certified spices. There's some very good high-end reputable companies that make spices. I know they'll be more expensive, but you know the chances of contaminations are low. If you can, buy the whole spice, for example, turmeric. You can buy whole turmeric and grind your own. That way you know the contamination is not there. Okay? And wash or dry roast your spices. Store them in airtight containers. Avoid spices which are loose in the market from unknown source that you buy from the grocery shops. So these are the best practices that we talked about to reduce cholesterol and triglycerides. And I told you all these practices that we talked about, they're part of our integrated heart center program, which is on our 14 modules in English and Hindi, which is on our app that you can get, and it's free for everybody. And then we talk about the 10 pillars of DASH that we discuss. So these 10 pillars that I keep discussing again and again, the diet, activity, stress, social, spiritual, harmonious living, avoiding harmful exposures of alcohol, tobacco, contamination, pollution, they are also as much applicable to triglycerides and cholesterol as they are to diabetes and to blood pressure and to heart disease. So all these heart disease, stroke, cancer risk, along with the blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol risk, they're all intertwined and they all improve by following this. So please join our life program and bring in more friends and family members. Have them go through our 14 modules and practice 10 pillars of DASH at home. And I hope that they'll help you bring your triglycerides and cholesterol down. Thank you.